things I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. So during the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we're making back out. Yes, I have my doubts. But they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. So roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. And I have my doubts. So I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we're making back up. I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. Unfortunately, I have to start out tonight's show with some bad news. It happens, but I've always told you I would be direct, and that's who I am. Quite some time ago, we had a moderator that moderated for our chat room for a little while. Always thought highly of the guy. He's not a moderator today because of anything bad. He's a good guy. Good guy. I am sad, shocked, stunned to inform you of his passing. His name, and I believe it was the same in the chat as well, was, and if I'm pronouncing it wrong, I'm sorry, but Eric Vag. I don't know if it's Vague. I'm not quite sure how that's pronounced. So if you wouldn't mind, please say some thoughts or some prayers and have some thoughts for him and his family. He's a good man. I thought highly of him, and if you know me, I don't say that about a whole lot of people. He's a good man. I don't know for sure what happened. From reading comments on his page, I suspect that it was COVID. So I'm going to make a request, and I doubt anybody's going to hear me, but I'm going to make it anyway. Please don't share stupid stuff on social media. People are dying. People are dying. For a fake disease, it sure is wiping out an awful lot of people. This isn't the first one that I know that is taken. All I can do is report the news. I can't make people think. I just found out about this not long before the show. Like I say, I'm shocked. I'm stunned. But that's not what today's show is about. I'm sorry for the delay to get to the point of today's show. Today's show is going to be about physical preparedness. Now, it's not going to be in the same manner that a lot of people are thinking. And I want to kind of give you a little bit of a gauge as to how you know whether or not you're prepping right. If you're prepping and it's 100% cool, you're probably not doing it right. Because in my experience, prepping is maybe about 20% cool and about 80% pain in the ass. If prepping isn't more of a pain in the ass, then you're missing something. You're missing a lot. And hopefully I'll be able to explain what I mean by that by the time I'm done speaking today. But first, let's get to our normal stuff out of the way real quick. We'll get it out of the way, and then we'll go from there. So, because I've got a lot of good stuff for you. Okay, real quick, Amazon affiliate. We are still at 1203, but I'm assuming that the items that were ordered hadn't shipped yet. They don't put the commission on there until the item ships. So that should still be going up though. And I thank you to those that participate in that. For those that don't know, we're an Amazon affiliate. We've got a link in the description of our videos, as well as at the watchmannews.com right there in the main, not main menu, in the upper menu. You won't have that on a mobile device, by the way. You'll have to click on the link in the description of the videos. Anyway, that'll take you to Amazon with our special link, and the items won't cost you anything more. You can order whatever you want. Just do your regular shopping. Those items don't cost you anything more, and it throws us a little commission for the sale. So it's a way that doesn't cost you anything, helps support the show, and we highly appreciate it. We've got a Teespring store. Best way to see what we have there is go to thewatchmannews.com. Scroll down on the home page. We currently have 4 different designs. At some point, I'll get more up there. Anyway, it's more than just t-shirts. There's coffee mugs and tote bags and all kinds of stuff. So if you see a design you like, click on the image. That'll take you over to Teespring, where all the other products are with that design, and you can make your purchase there. And lastly, we have a PayPal donate link that's in the description of the videos, as well as in the main menu at the watchmannews.com. And that just takes you to our PayPal donation page. Yeah, you don't have to have a PayPal account. You can do it as a guest with a debit or a credit card. But I also let people know, it says Transforming Disabilities up top. It also says Purpose the Watchman News donation. That way you know you're in the right place. A lot of people are like, what? Doesn't say Watchman News. And yeah, it does. Okay, let me get that closed. Have me a sip of tea. Grab my Post-it note with literally 4 notes on it, and one of them is Eric. So, another topic. All of these topics I could go on for days. Okay, but a lot of people, when you start talking about physical preparedness, they're going to start talking about, or they're going to think 2 things. Number 1, your actual physical fitness, your physical abilities, right? Yeah, I can bench press 4,000 pounds, right? Nope, I'm not talking about that. Not talking about that. Others might think, oh, well, he's talking about all the cool gear, going out and buying all the cool gear. Nope. That's not really what I'm talking about. Because let me tell you something. You can have all the cool gear you want, but if you don't know how to use it, you can't find it, or you already broke it, whatever the case may be, that item's useless. How many of you went to grab a flashlight just to find out that the batteries were dead? One thing if you needed it to work on your car. It's another thing if it's some type of a crisis. I don't know exactly what to term it, but it could be something just minor within your household that you need a flashlight, right? But an emergency, not like you needed to go find the bolt on the car, right? It's happened to all of us. But the thing of it is, you don't want that to happen in an SHTF moment. Make sure that you go through all of your items. I mean, let me break this down a little bit out. Let me tell you a little bit about even my day, right? I will typically, not long after I get up and I'm sitting in my chair at the desk, I'll go through emails and everything else, and I do a blade check. I check my blades every day. Every day. Check them over. I mean, I should know if they've got nicks in them or something like that, but it doesn't matter. I check them anyway. Check the sharpness. Check them over. Every day. Every single day. It's something that you should do. Because let me tell you what. If you're thrown into an SHTF situation or a situation where you need to be able to get home and you've got your EDC and all that, but you used your knife you carry on your side to cut carpet with that weekend, okay, and you doled the shit out of it, well, what use is that knife for you if you're 200 miles from home and you got all your other gear, right? And let's just say you don't have any sharpening equipment. You should. This should not even be an issue, folks, because you should have sharpening equipment. But my point is, what if you need that knife immediately, quicker, and it's got a dull blade? It doesn't even have to be an SHTF situation. Okay? Let's say that you're a good EDC carrier and you've got a tourniquet on you. Let's say you got a Cat 7 in your pocket and, you don't really carry all kinds of stuff because, well, you've got a knife, you've got a cutting tool, so you don't need trauma shears, right? Let's say you want to pack medically light for your EDC. And you figure you double up on different items. Well, knife would work as long as you're careful with it to be able to cut away anything that you need to. And the thing of it is what happens if you're out and about and you come across, say, a car accident or something like that, and you need to get access to the injuries. And you grab your knife that you spent all weekend cutting carpet with, and now you got to struggle to be able to get access to the wound. All because you didn't keep up on the maintenance on your blades. Okay? And that could cause a big problem. I mean, that could actually cause you to lose enough time to save that person's life. It could happen. Not that hard to keep your blades sharp. Touch them up, keep them sharp. And this is coming from somebody that couldn't sharpen a blade for the life of me. I mean, I could get them kind of sharp. I mean, they would cut, but not like I sharpen today. And, I'd like to tell you about how it's years and years and years and years of practice, and it's not. It's buying a good sharpening tool. That Work Sharp guided field sharpener, I'm telling you, that thing is incredible. I showed Jen earlier my folding knife that I did the review on. I cut a piece of Post-it note. I mean, it was just a tiny sliver. I'm talking like an 1/8 of an inch sliver. It's like awesome sharpener. But so I do that every day. That's one of my daily routines is to do a blade check. Okay, that is the type of physical preparedness that I am referring to. The upkeep, whatnot of the stuff that you already have, because I think that gets largely neglected. It's about time I do a battery charge. It's actually past due. I have a ton of 18650 batteries. Okay? And I go through and I periodically charge every last one of them to the top. And I've got quite a few. All of my power banks, all of my radio batteries, every battery that I have related to anything in my night vision, any battery that I have related to anything prepping that's rechargeable gets charged when I do this. And I do battery checks, go through everything. I do equipment checks, because guess what? If it takes battery, it probably turns on. So I turn it on, check it out, make sure everything's in working order. And I do all this on a periodic basis. This is the type of physical preparedness that I am talking about. Making sure that your equipment is good to go at a moment's notice. And I do. I go through and I check everything. Expanding on this ideal, and I've been saying this a lot here recently. You've heard me say a lot of times during the show here recently, especially during the monologues. Before I stopped doing the other, videos. You've heard me say that, go ahead and stage your items. Go ahead and get them staged. Once again, that's the kind of physical preparedness I'm talking about. And I'll say it again. Go ahead and get stuff staged. have to go and get stupid, but like if you've got medical equipment and it's stored away in a back room under a bunch of stuff or whatever, get it out. Get it out, and I would say put it in your most common area. Somewhere in your most common area, right? Your medical bag. Just go and use your head with it. Go ahead and pre-stage different things, because I'm telling you, things can change quick. And sometimes things don't even have to change so quick. Sometimes things have several hours to change. The old dark 30. So you want to make sure you're ready to go. What happens if it is dark 30? You're snoozing. And SHTF, no matter how, localized, regional, national, whatever that it is, happens. We can go back to the flashlight. If you don't have your flashlight pre-staged, if you don't know where your flashlight is, guess what? That's your first problem. What if your SHTF situation involves your power not working? So you can't just hop up and flip the light switch. I know where my flashlight is when I'm sleeping. And I know I even more so often check its battery and keep it charged, because I do use my flashlight on a semi-regular basis. I mean, I use it. So I do check the battery on that a little more often than I do all the other batteries. But like I say, make sure you go through your equipment, make sure that it works, make sure everything's functioning properly, make sure you know how to make it function properly. That's kind of important. And go ahead and start pre-staging stuff. I would definitely pre-stage medical stuff. I would pre-stage communications. And when I say pre-stage communications, that really needs to be in a handy spot. Really needs to be in a handy spot, because that should probably be the first thing you grab. That should probably be the first thing you grab. No matter what, you need to grab that radio. Number one. Then you got to keep that communication open. So that's a common mistake, by the way. People will forget the radio, right? They'll grab the pew, right? The big boomstick, but they won't grab communication. Bad idea. So work on that, by the way. That's another thing you can do in physical preparedness, is run drills. And that is a perfect drill to run. And run multiple drills involving multiple different types of threats in multiple different places, and drill. And make it habit. Because the first thing that you want to grab is that boomstick. You got to change that. You got to change that. I mean, don't get me wrong. If the boomstick's closer to the radio, pick up the boomstick and then go to the radio. You get what I'm saying. But don't grab the boomstick and go rushing out the door if you don't have your communication. Real bad idea. Trying to think of if there was any areas that's really poking me in the face. Of course, the other areas of physical preparedness is important too. That's where, I'm not in such great shape. And of course, Jen with cerebral palsy. It's not like she's going to go to the gym and work that out. So, it is what it is. So, I think a lot when it comes to physical preparedness is, again, knowing how to use what you do have, making sure that it's upkept, well maintained, and when it does come time to get more cool stuff, make sure you do your homework. You know, it's not always about the most expensive. There's only a couple of things that I've found that I really have a hard time getting away from the most expensive. And, you know, I've said it before, Leatherman. I cannot find a multi-tool for any cheaper anyway that can compete. I just can't. I've got a Leatherman Super Tool 300. Right now, I just saw them. Actually, I just saw them the other day on Amazon. I think they're selling right at $100 right now, $99.99 or whatever. Great tool. I know it's not cheap. It's not cheap to me. But I'm telling you, you're going to be hard pressed to find a better multi-tool for that price. I mean, now I like the Super Tool 300. I urge you to go through. You find the right tool for you. Super Tool 300 is the I think it's the right one for me. I don't need scissors, right? I'm not going to be crafting. I don't need scissors. So that's not an issue because it doesn't have scissors. But there's a couple things I kind of wished it had that it doesn't. But overall, I love it. It is a really, really awesome multi-tool. But again, we each have our own things that we do. I do a lot of repair, a lot of maintenance, a lot of stuff like that. So I wanted a little bit more of a heavier Leatherman, as well as one that was capable of doing some different tasks than what some of the others. Like I said, like for instance, I don't have the scissors. Okay. I'm drawing a blank is what I'm doing. Okay. All the different sizes of the flatheads was important to me. The awl is important to me. It's got 2 different saws in it. They're not the same saw. It's got 2 different saws. That was important to me. The Phillips head has a long reach. That was important to me. I had to look at it. Until I took it out of the sheath and looked at it, I couldn't remember why it was exactly I chose it over the others. But anyway, I do recommend a good multi-tool. The other thing that I will say that's really kind of hard to skimp on is if you're interested in getting a drone. The cheap ones are cheap ones. What can I tell you? The cheapest that I know of that you can really go to get something that is, I guess, worthwhile is the pardon me, that Xiaomi, or however they say the name, that Fimi X8 SE. Let's see, I actually just so happen to have it right there. So, that's it on Banggood. So, Fimi X8 SE 2020 edition. Not bad, but that's about as cheap as you're going to get. And you're looking at $471 there. So, probably about the cheapest you're going to get for something that's really, truly worth having. Now, they do have the DJI Mini 2 out now, which is definitely not a drone to sneeze at. I'm trying to think of what the price point was on that. Seems like it might be like $700 for the Fly More combo. I can't remember. Hang on 1 second. We'll look it up. We shall look it up. DJI Mini 2. 600. I'm sorry. It's going to be $600 for the Fly More combo, and $450 roughly for the just the drone and one battery and, you know, the remote and all that. Fly more combo is the way to go if you can do it. Without a doubt, hands down, fly more combo is the way to go. But more to the point, that thing is pretty incredible. It's not what the Mavic Air 2 is, but this is the second generation of my first DJI. My first DJI was the Mavic Mini. They dropped the Mavic name now, and now it's just a DJI Mini. But this is the second rendition, the DJI Mini 2. This has the OcuSync. It's got the same radio communications as what my Mavic Air 2 has. It's got a little bit better of a camera on it than what the first Mini did, and it's got more powerful motors on it than what the first Mini did, and the wind resistance on this one they claim is as good as the Mavic Air 2. They claim. So there should be a lot less chance of a flyaway with the Mini 2 versus the first Mini. Not for the Mini. For the Mini, you do not need a license for it because it's under 250 grams. It's 249 grams. So the Mini, the DJI Mini 1 and the DJI Mini 2, you do not need a license for it. So that's the good thing about those. And again, the Mini 2 has OcuSync on it. It's got, 2.0, OcuSync 2.0. I think they're boasting the same range, which is like 10 kilometers. Now understand that that's perfect, absolute perfect, insane, ideal conditions, okay? The more Wi-Fi congested the area is that you were in, the less distance you're going to have. That's why you need a badass drone, because you can't always be in the best, the best environment. So you need something that has enough power in the transmitter to be able to not only penetrate, but even make distance, So they, I'll tell you what, DJI has it. They have it. They really got a good thing going, but it's not cheap. So, but those are really kind of the two big things that stand out when I say that I'm picky about a brand. That's really about it. The rest, pretty much the rest of the stuff, you can find good deals on, really good deals on, without having to break the bank. Flashlights, again, we've got Anker Boulders. I think they're LC40s or something like that. And we love them. Great flashlights. $30. $30. I mean, you can't beat that. Hang on. You can't beat that. They look solid to me. And the flashlights, that is. The tail cap screws off, and there's a USB port in there. So you can actually charge the 18650 battery that it takes right in the flashlight itself. Just remove the tail cap. Then, if you remove the tail cap, there's actually like another little threaded plug in there, and if you remove that, then you can take out the 18650 itself. Oops. Cool little flashlight. $30. Works fine. I've not had an issue with mine whatsoever. I've got one. Jen's got one in her purse. And that's our light. They're not... to carry it as an EDC, I would say, personally, it's a hair big for EDC. Just a hair big. Not super bad. If you don't mind carrying, a fairly decent sized flashlight for EDC, well, then that's fine. I do prefer something a little bit smaller for EDC. I actually prefer to carry two flashlights for EDC. I like to carry an 18650 flashlight in my pocket, and then and I lost my through night. I still haven't gotten me this stupid $20 Olight AAA flashlight. It's $20, and I still haven't got one yet. But I need to get one of those little Olight little AAA flashlights, because I put that my Leatherman sheath has two little elastic things on the sides of it, on each side of it. And on one side I put a spare AAA battery, which mine is still there. And the other side is where I used to keep my flashlight, but I lost it. The clip on it, like, it was a homemade clip, and it really sucked, and clearly it didn't clip. So anyway, I need to replace that flashlight. But I like to carry two flashlights on me, you know. EDC is a big thing. It's important. Make sure you've got your EDC all squared away. You know, I would even go as far to say, you know, go ahead and stage your bug out bags. You should make sure to go ahead and go through those. Make sure everything's all swapped out for the winter stuff now. You know, make sure everything in there is current, good to go. Make sure you refamiliarize yourself with the location of your items in your bug out bag. Because again, the time that you may need to get something out of it may not be an ideal time or an ideal environment. It could be raining, it could be dark, it could be all kinds of stuff. And you're kind of going to want to be able to stick your hand down in your bag and go to what you need. So, you know, again, there's a lot to physical preparedness that's not about cool stuff, right? It should be about 80% pain in the ass. Seriously. But make sure you go through everything. And again, make sure everything's current. Make sure you got everything current. Make sure if you got lighters in your bug out bag that they didn't leak out. You know, just go through everything. Make sure everything's tip top. Then make sure you have it staged. Drill. Drill, 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 drill. It's important. It's important. The difference between carrying out a task that you have drilled and have not drilled is immense. Immense. Bear had mentioned one day about the average time, and I can't remember what he said, but the average time it took for one of their students in their course to properly put on a tourniquet, you know, when they just walked in the door, versus how quick they could do it after their training. And folks, I think that's his 4-hour course. That's a 4-hour training course. Now imagine practicing that off and on for any given period of time. You become very good at it. So you do want to drill. You do want to practice. You do want to poke holes in every plan that you have and figure out ways around those holes. This stuff is important, and right now it's ultimately important to be doing this stuff. I cannot tell you the amount of acceleration I am seeing in the news cycles. This is not a good thing. Not a good thing for two reasons. Number one, you only hear what they want you to hear. Plain and simple. So, with that in mind, if you're hearing a lot, it's because they want you to hear a lot. One reason that they want you to hear a lot is to get your mind thrown all around, for confusion, for disarray. They've got a big task coming up, and that's shoving a vaccine up everybody's ass. So they need people as divided and confused and everything as they can possibly get. We're in a bad boat. And I was just talking to this earlier today to the person I'm doing the website for, and we were talking about this stuff, and you know, I'm telling you, what I am seeing. Oh, well, I was talking to her. It was, I'm trying to think of what time it was. It was like 9 something in the morning, I think, when I was talking to her, right? I think it was like 9 something in the morning when we were talking. And when I looked up at my little RT icon, it already had like 40 something headlines at like 9 something in the morning. That's insane. That's insane. So there's a lot of stuff coming out. There's a major acceleration in the news, and now I can't say that I'm seeing a whole lot of situations really go crazy overseas as far as the United States is concerned. Right now, okay? Again, this all can change in a moment's notice, but there are some things. There was an incident involving the USS John McCain, of all ships. There was an incident involving that, I believe yesterday morning, to where it apparently had sailed 2 kilometers on the inside of some disputed waters. And apparently, Russian ship had threatened to ram it, if need be, to get it out of their waters. So, but that's, there's that kind of stuff that happens all the time. Planes are always escorting bombers out of the air, from nearby airspace. It's nothing really to be concerned about yet. My interest was more the fact that it is the USS John McCain and different things that the Florida McKee channel has had to say about the USS John McCain, and I find the whole thing very interesting. So we've got that going on. I'm trying to think if there's really... I'm not recalling anything I read involving, anything that looks like it's a major acceleration involving the United States, but something that's foreign in nature. A lot of it's COVID, folks. And I don't know what to tell folks, but it's real. And it's going to be a real big pain in the ass. Numbers are starting to jump up again. I said yesterday I thought we had a couple of days where we had a little bit of a reprieve. That was correct. We got 2 days of a reprieve. That's it. That's over. Tomorrow's number that you see is going to be much higher. So with that, let me run over those real quick. Fatal cases I'm showing right now at 1,785. Remember, that will update again. Earlier, before this reset, that number was either 2,500 something or 2,600 something before it reset. So expect over 2,000 to be on this graph tomorrow for the fatal cases. New cases, I'm showing 157,518. I would expect to probably see that jump up again too. It's not going to move with the fatal cases, obviously. But fatal cases we showed for yesterday was 915. But like I said, tomorrow, expect to see at least over 2,000. I would say for the next coming days, it's probably going to be over 2,000. We are definitely in an upward trend. Now, this is going to reach a point to where it goes stupid quick, okay? And I think we are getting pretty close to that, to where it goes stupid quick. And even in our town, we broke 1,000 total confirmed in our town, by the way. We'll get to that here in a moment. But yeah, that's what's up with that. In fact, we're there now. We're at 1,002 1,002. Remember, our town's roughly about 13,000 people. So once we hit 1,300 people, that's 10% of the town. 10% of the town for a fake virus. Well, I'm saying, be careful of what you share and stuff on social media. If you're somebody that's been saying all along this is fake and you're still doing it, it's time to kind of grow up. Sorry, not sorry. Let's see. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know anything on if we've had, many fatal cases or anything. I really don't know any details other than the numbers I see right there. So, but it sure does seem like there's a freight train running through town. All right, let's do some headlines. After I have a vape. How's that sound? Still jamming on some pink Starburst. I love this. And I guess I could go there before we do headlines. Let me go there. This kind of does involve cool things to buy. If you're a smoker and you're a prepper, I'm telling you, vaping is going to save your sanity. You ain't got much time, I don't think, to get supplies. But I'm telling you, I've been vaping since 2013, full time, more or less. And it works. It works. It's different than smoking. You don't have that instant pleasure you get, like you get when you take a drag off a cigarette. But it works. And you get the nicotine. There's a lot of people out there that say, but, okay, well, but you tell me how you're going to go to 7-Eleven after shit hits the fan and you're going to get yourself a pack of Camels. Tell me how you're going to do that. Well, I got this. I'll barter. Whatever. It's going to run out. And, here's the thing. When it comes to running out. I want you to sit here and think of how big of a room it would take to store enough cigarettes, enough cartons of cigarettes, to last 2 years. I can store enough vaping supplies to last 2 years in a larger shoebox. A shoebox. Not one with kids' shoes, but like my shoes. Yeah. Yeah, I can put enough liquid, couple extra sets of batteries, a spool of wire, and cotton. Enough in a shoebox to last at least 2 years, probably even longer. So that's why I got into vaping. I didn't get into vaping to quit smoking. I got into vaping because of prepping. Because I saw that. I saw that I could store an insane amount of supplies in a small amount of space. And not only that, but how valuable is that going to be to barter? I've got everything I need to make e-juice. If I can provide people with the way to get their nicotine after SHTF, Tell me what kind of power I might have. So, if you can provide things like nicotine or alcohol or drugs, yeah. Going to be some major barter items there, along with food and stuff. But believe me, those are going to probably take precedence, at least for a little while, over the food. So there's a lot to physical preparedness, folks. A lot. It's not just about the cool gear. Not just about actually being physically fit. It's about what you do with all of that. That is physical preparedness. Man, buying cool stuff is just shopping. Oh, ladies can manage that. No offense to the ladies, I'm just saying. There's a difference between going shopping and, getting out there with that axe and chopping. You know what I mean? Big difference. Big difference. So, me, myself, I could probably only handle the chopping. So, probably ain't going to get much chopping out of me anymore. I've done plenty of it, though, I'll tell you that much. Huh. Man. Alright, let's do some headlines. After a sip of tea. Yes, I could put a phone on the charger. See, that's the thing, too. When I go to bed, my phone and my watch are typically 100%, or right close at 100%. And then I've got my phone and my watch so streamlined, when I get up, they're still, above 80%. And I throw them on the charger, top them off, right? That's one of my daily things. And they'll last me pretty much through all the day. And then usually around 7, 8, tonight it's going to be 9, I throw them on the charge. So, but I've got them really streamlined. They're really, really energy efficient. So I could probably get 2 full days out of my watch, which is insane for a TicWatch-E, okay? I can get about 2 days out of it, and I could honestly probably get about 3 days out of the phone. So, not bad. Let's see. And again, that's another part of physical preparedness. I did that. I streamlined that. I cut out all the bloat and crap that didn't need to be on there, didn't need to run, and all that, so that I could make it as efficient as possible, so that it would, the batteries would last me as long as possible, because that may wind up being very important. So, another part of physical preparedness. There is, just like I said, I could go on for days and days and days and days. Prepping is a lifestyle. Not just something cool to do. It is a lifestyle. If it's not a lifestyle, you're not doing it right. Or you're not serious, you're just playing. There's a lot of people playing. I'm going to be honest. A lot of people that play. Let's see. Do some headlines. Actually, I read that one to you last night. All right, let's see. The virus is doing this, not me. Pennsylvania governor bans alcohol on Thanksgiving Eve to halt COVID-19 spread. Pentagon to begin providing support for power transition plan immediately as Biden gets access to briefings and funding. We will never concede. Trump doubles down on fraud claims as GSA greenlights power transfer and says lawsuits are moving ahead. 2020 goes full Kubrick, mysterious monolith discovered in Utah desert. This is a priceless story, and it's proof why you don't want to screw with geeks. All right? You don't want to mess with a geek, especially a group of geeks. Not a good idea. And we'll get to that here in a moment. It's priceless. It is absolutely priceless. I love it. Let's see. Ghislaine Maxwell quarantined after jail staffer tests positive for COVID-19. Saudi Aramco confirms Houthi attack on critical oil facility, reports no casualties. Are you invading or just lost? Russian Navy threatens to ram U.S. warship John McCain after it crosses border near Vladivostok. Ryanair boss slams UK government plan to shorten travel quarantine to 5 days if passenger tests negative for COVID-19. A COVID-19 passport, global airline lobby working on mobile app for international travel. Telling you, it's coming. I'll bet you next year this time you'll need a COVID, some type of COVID vaccination identification to cross the state line in the United States. I'll bet it. A Russian internet giant Yandex launches food delivery service in Israel. Potential breakthrough for cystic fibrosis as Moscow scientists use gene editing to correct part of mutation that causes the disease. All of this medical advancements in this past year is insane. A dangerous U.S. creating chaos in Asia, says China's embassy in the Philippines. Cops flee as citizens fight off attempted evictions in Barcelona. Hundreds of flights canceled following coronavirus outbreak at Shanghai airport. EU warns Afghanistan any move to set up Islamic Emirate would affect financial support. Priceless Charles Darwin notebooks reported stolen from Cambridge Library 20 years after they go missing. France's interior minister launches probe after shocking images of police clearing a migrant camp. UK's COVID-19 test and trace system cost a lot of money but still needs improving, the minister says after a damning investigation. Moscow claims win after U.S. court rejects oligarchs' demand for seizure of Russian assets in $50 billion UCOS legal battle. EU drug regulator vows thorough examination of COVID-19 vaccines, says it could issue ruling on jabs by year's end. Axe-wielding drunken man surrenders after taking 6 children hostage and threatening to kill them in St. Petersburg, says reports. Beijing hits out at Pope, says remarks about persecuted Uyghurs are groundless. East beats West in travel industry recovery as COVID-19 continues to challenge the sector. Beijing wants a sea of peace through cooperation with Japan, but reiterates its sovereignty in East China Sea. British telecoms may be fined up to 10% of revenues for using Huawei gear. Russian Sputnik V vaccine at least 95% effective, says its creators, but vaccination won't be mandatory and Putin hasn't had it yet. Moderna to supply 160 million doses of its COVID-19 vaccine to the EU. Scientists detect superbolt lightning strikes that hit with more power than entire U.S. solar and wind energy capacity. So now they're talking about this, how much if all the wind turbines were going and all the solar panels were going, these lightning bolts can produce more energy than all of those can. And if you don't think that there's enough solar and wind power in the U.S. to produce a little bit of voltage, there is. It's just scattered. Okay? It's just kind of scattered. But there's a fair amount. Let's see. Bravery or covidiacy? Covidiacy. Yeah, that's about how you would say it. Bravery or covidiacy. That's hard to say, though. Mixed reviews as UK travel agency says it will boycott Qantas or Qantas. No, that's... Is that... Isn't there Qantas, too, with a U? I would swear, but I could be wrong. Anyway, over compulsory COVID-19 vaccine policy. Know the challenge. UK government's website warns tech firms over risks of China expansion and investment. Inmate who raped and murdered Britain's worst pedophile as act of poetic justice gets a life sentence. He should have got a life sentence removed. Let's see. Commercial interest and Russia/West geopolitical struggle combined to make race for COVID-19 vaccines a new battleground. Boeing's troubled 737 MAX could soon return to European skies after deadly crashes. Berlin hits out at Ankara after Turkey prevents arms search on Libya-bound ship. Homes of 9 German police officers raided over extremist right-wing chat group. Senior MEPs threatened to veto unbalanced Brexit deal. Oh, quite a few headlines for just one day. That's just one day. Iran's supreme leader says trying to lift sanctions through talks was fruitless. Jehovah's Witnesses members arrested in Moscow over extremist organization allegations. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. Mayors of Budapest and Warsaw revolt against Hungarian and Polish governments, ask the EU to send money directly to them. Beware the dog. Aussies losing millions as puppy scams surge globally amid the pandemic. So beware the puppy scams? ? You know, I would say probably the Russian and Chinese brides might be a little more legitimate than the Russian and Chinese puppies. Maybe. I don't know. Pennsylvania certifies election results, declares Joe Biden victorious in latest blow to Trump. Really? That should be on Pornhub. Leading Belarusian opposition figure Babariko faces jail as Russia's Lavrov heads to Minsk for meeting with embattled Lukashenko. In Minsk. Russia. Yeah, there's something wrong with me. Just one thing, no. Yeah. Russia opens case against Google over failure to remove banned extremist, X-rated, and suicidal content from its search results. $6 million per life. Study calculates economic wreckage caused by U.S. COVID-19 shutdowns. 1 in 5 secondary pupils in England absent from school as COVID disruption reaches crisis point. Absolute disgrace. UK MP's angry outburst after seeing elderly anti-lockdown protester bundled into police van. 2 women injured in Swiss department store attack. Police haven't ruled out terrorism. Dow Jones breaks 30,000 milestone for first time as stocks soar amid vaccine hopes and formal start of Biden transition. I find that interesting for 2 reasons. Number one, I thought Wall Street supposedly liked Trump. And bigger isn't always better, folks. Because there's this thing called a bubble, in which we're in a giant one. And the higher that goes, the bigger the bubble is. Yeah. 2 explosions in central Afghanistan kill 14 people and wound 45, says officials. Stop the threat. Saudi Arabia blames Houthis for Aramco missile attack in letter to UN Security Council. France moves closer to passing security law that sparked the protests as lawmakers back bill by huge majority. Over 1 billion doses of Russia's Sputnik V vaccine against COVID expected in 2021 as producer promises low prices. Cool for Yule, UK's 4 nations agree to relax coronavirus restrictions for Christmas. Biden promises to lead the world with his fresh-thinking security team. Well, I'm glad that they can think fresh. Cops accuse teens of stealing own car and then kill 16-year-old driver and 18-year-old passenger. Yes. Yeah. Ridiculous. U.S. Navy defends entering Russian waters by blasting Moscow's excessive maritime claims. Biden approved to receive President's daily brief, gaining access to high-level intelligence, says reports. Well, I kind of debate whether there's any intelligence in the government. Syrian state media reports Israeli aggression near Damascus in southern Quneitra. I'm not quite sure how they'd pronounce that. Macron says France passed the peak of the second wave and vows to ease coronavirus lockdown for Christmas. And he's lying. Plain out. And I don't know why. I don't know what his motivation is. Alien super weapon Xbox prototype. This is priceless. Internet sleuths uncover coordinates of Utah monolith as netizens debate origin and purpose. Yeah. So here's what they did. This is classic, man. Dude, don't mess with geeks. Less than a day after the discovery went viral, the gumshoes of 4chan were on the case, apparently using a series of photos to determine the solar azimuth, declination, and elevation of the site to find the coordinates of the mysterious silver slab. Priceless. So awesome. And I do see a number 1 up here. Decision to publish Jordan Peterson's new book triggers Penguin Random House woke employees and causes crying at staff meeting. Oh, I certainly hope somebody had some tissues. Sheesh. Oh, those are some headlines. Wouldn't you agree? Man. I'm telling you, there was a lot. I do suspect there will be a lot tomorrow as well. Speaking of, we, as far as I know, will do a show for Thanksgiving night. I don't see why not. So expect there to be a show on Thanksgiving. And then, of course, tomorrow night. So, kind of don't know where I'm going to go from here as far as monologues. I was bumped in the direction to cover the latter 3 of my prepper priority list. And I should have said it, and I didn't all this time on the show, and I didn't say it. Wow, that's a big mistake. Well, if you're still here and you've never heard me say it before, in order, and the order is very, very important. Number 1 is spiritual preparedness, because it doesn't matter what's going on. It doesn't matter how bad your situation is. If you've got a good enough relationship with the Father, He will see you through. Now, I'm not saying that He will make whatever your desires be successful. He will make His will successful. What's important is that you're obedient to that will, whatever it may be. But that's important, your spiritual preparedness. Number 2 up is your mental preparedness. Because it doesn't matter all the cool gear you've got. It doesn't matter everything you know in your head. If you can't keep your head in the game, all the rest is useless. Right? And if you are mentally prepared and you've gone through mental exercises to help prepare, because I'm telling you, SHTF is not going to be fun. It's not. And I'm convinced we're on the edge of it. I'm positive. Not going to be fun. And there are times that even the most mentally prepared people are still going to reach a breaking point. That's where Father Yah comes in. So, again, number 1, spiritual preparedness. Number 2, mental preparedness. Number 3, and I changed the word. I used to always try to use knowledge in some way, shape, or form, and it just doesn't fit. So we're going to go with intellectual preparedness. And that is number 3, because it doesn't matter what gadgets and toys and all of that you have. If you lose them or they break or you use them up or whatever the case may be, guess what? You may still need to perform that task, but now you don't have that tool to perform that task or that supply to perform. So you're going to have to figure out a way around that. You're going to have to know how to adapt or what. The only way you're going to be able to do that is with what you know, with what you understand. That's why it's important. Physical preparedness is last, right? And as I've hopefully explained and displayed tonight, physical preparedness goes way beyond shopping. Way beyond shopping. And it goes way beyond hitting the weight bench. You hear about these things the most often, but what you don't hear about is the 80% of prepping that's not cool. Like recharging a bunch of batteries. Like making sure your blade is good and sharp every day. I'm not a knife guy. Not a knife guy. I don't find it cool to sit there and look and play with my knives. It's a tool. It's a tool. But I do it because I want to make sure that it's always ready, that everything's in order. Well, anyway, I hope that these last 3 days, I hope that folks are getting something out of at least the latter 3 of the prepper preparedness list, priority list. Sorry. I didn't cover the first one, spiritual, as I said before, because it's something that if you're not already doing it, first of all, it's not my job. Not my job. Now, if you decide that you do want to follow Father Yah, and if you've ever got any questions about that, you're more than welcome to discuss it with me. It's just not something I push here. Right? I'll talk about it from sun up till sundown. Just not here. Just not here. We're here to do the news, not church. So, but he is the most important thing in my life, and he is the reason why I am here doing this show. But I had not been instructed to turn the show into church, and so therefore I won't. I'm trying to think. I think that pretty much covers it. I don't know of anything else really, and I would like to relax for a little bit. Oh, another little bit. I played around a little bit more with Flight Sim today, and my No Track IR, or what is it called? Face Track No IR is the name of the software, and I've got it almost tweaked perfectly. I had a couple flights today. I did take a couple flights today. One in a Carbon Cub, the 215 horsepower variant of the Carbon Cub, and the other flight I flew in the Aramaki MB339 trainer jet, and two gorgeous flights. There was a big update today, the big USA update, and oh my goodness, was it gorgeous. The US just looks so good now, almost completely real. And man, the aircraft's flying nice. The racetrack no IR, that is the coolest thing ever. I was showing Jen earlier today, when I was in the Cub, I was actually sticking my head out of the window of the plane and looking straight down at the ground, right? And literally I made that same head movement as if I was really doing it in real life. And in the simulator, that's exactly what the camera view did. It's the, as far as you seen yourself stick your head out the window and look down. It was just the most surreal thing. And that's just using a webcam and a little bit of software to do that. I'll tell you what, I am tempted to at some point maybe try to get an actual track IR system, because that's incredible. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Lots of changes I think are coming pretty quick here for us. And, including hopefully really soon a move. And I think that's going to be I'm suspecting really soon. And so once we get that move out of the way, I am actually going to try, I think, to set all three of my monitors up flat on the table. And I'm going to see if I can make it happen. And at the new place, because I probably have a little more room to work with. And, and then it'd be on. Then I'll have 3 monitors wide, That'd be some fun. Now, I don't know if my video card will handle that. I guess I'll find out. So, as it is, I used to run high-end settings in the flight simulator. Now, mind you, I'm running more software now when I run the flight sim. I run a program called Little Nav Map that lets me do flight planning and all that stuff. It's a really awesome little add-on program. And then I'm running the Facetrack No IR, which, involves running your webcam. So all of this is resources that are being taken from your computer while your computer's trying to run the most ungodly software known to man. And it literally is right now. So you want to benchmark test a computer, you use Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, and you're going to be able to benchmark that computer. So anyway, so now I'm running on medium settings, so I don't get the stutters or nothing. But I'll tell you what, from flying today, I really can't tell a huge difference between the medium and high-end settings as far as visually. I really can't see a huge difference. In fact, I don't think you're going to see a huge difference unless you go up a higher resolution. I'm flying the simulator at 1080p. So why go any higher? Number one, my video card ain't going to be up for it. It can do it. My video card can do it as far as the higher resolution. But guess what? My monitors can't. So it doesn't matter. Even if the video card's capable of it, my monitors are only 1080p. So I'm thinking that with 1080p, that once you hit about medium settings, you're not going to really see a whole lot of difference until you either go up to 2.7K or 4K. And yeah, like I say, I don't have the monitors to do that. And I've got a GTX 1650 Super video card. It's not, it's not all that. So, it's only 4 gigabyte card. So, I do need a meaner video card whenever. It's not a priority. Right now, if I wanted to get a meaner video card, I'd probably have to spend about $400 or $500. And yeah, I really, 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 really would like to have one, but it's not necessary. And, Flight Sim is something that it's important to me. I don't get a lot of me time. I don't take a lot of me time. And there's not a whole lot of things I even really care to do anymore. But I like to fly. I like to fly. And I probably need to really get on my own butt and make myself fly more. But I don't. And I'm going to try to work on that. In fact, I'm going to try to work on that this Shabbat. I'm going to try to really get a lot of flying in for the coming Shabbat. So, just for relaxation, for leisure, for nothing more. Because I need that. I need to force myself to shut down a little bit. So we've got a storm coming, folks, and if you've got your ducks in a row, try to catch a breath before you go into that storm. I highly recommend it. We've got a storm coming like you've never imagined. Mark my words. Why all the ignorance in the world frustrates me. People want to bicker and play stupid games. Man. Number one, don't burn bridges. That's idiocy. Number two, there's a hell of a lot more serious things that we're staring right at. I would highly recommend that anybody and everybody focus on those things. Ain't nobody else out there going to save you. Ain't nobody else's responsibility to save you. All the little stuff, all of a sudden, just isn't that important. Anyway, I hope everybody has a good night. God willing, we will be back tomorrow. We'll do it again. I'll try to think of a good subject for tomorrow's show. God willing, we'll be there, and we really hope to see you then. As always, God bless you. We love you, and be one with your spirit.